Hello and welcome to Sage Thyme. Lillian here with you today as I touch upon the pulse of the collective, offering a narrative for you to personally translate and assimilate as in accordance with your divine highest design. So, Taurus reading today. I appreciate everyone's patience as I am navigating which signs and how I want to construct this channel. So I am on my second specific sign, that is Taurus today. I will be using primarily the two decks of Mystical Shaman Oracle and the Shaman's Dream Oracle deck, as well as we'll do a pull from daily meditations to get a bit of an overall idea, insight, and two cards came out. Interesting. I'll go with the first one. I wasn't going to at first because it felt a little too specific, but I have a feeling as soon as I thought that, I heard it doesn't necessarily have to do with the specificity. So the card today is called Mindful Eating. You see what I mean about the specificity? And it reads, you can eat while doing other things, but multitasking diffuses the experience of eating and increases the likelihood of overeating unwholesome foods. However, when you eat and only eat, the food in your mouth captures your attention. Your taste buds wake up and you know when you are full. Focus on eating and your present moment experience as single pointed. It's just you and your food. For your eating pleasure, practice a 1-minute eating meditation. Take a bite of food, close your eyes, chew, and enjoy. In the take-home messages, I take delight in mindful eating. Okay, so I am glad I chose that. And the reason why is mindful eating, not only I think is something that all of us could do better at and with. There are some who are well practiced at it, but it is the perfect example of something that is a daily necessity, a daily always, with the exception of those perhaps that don't have that benefit. But for most folks, eating is a daily occurrence, a few times a day even. And taking something as simple and mundane as eating and creating it into a sacred event, a ceremony in a sense, and developing the nuances within the presence of delighting and taking pleasure and connecting with all the parts of eating, the food, the taste buds, the nourishment, the connectivity of every particle in every aspect of your food, every particle of spinach in the spinach, every particle of pasta in your pasta, and so forth. Connecting with those throughout the history of all time, feeling into and considering I always do this prayer before I eat, and I pray to give awareness and gratitude for myself of all the hearts, the hands, the consciousnesses, the sacrifices, and the energies that went into the creation of every particle and every part of my meal. And it is a wonderful thing to not only give tribute and gratitude to, but to spend time with while I eat. And so while that can be applied, we're speaking specifically about eating, and perhaps that seems a little silly or small for a tarot oracle reading, but it's huge because when you can start there in the most simplistic, mundane, easily overlooked and skirted by, then the whole world starts opening up for you. And when that starts happening, abundance abundance abounds. So that's fantastic. I'm 5 minutes in. Let's see what we got here from the Mystical Shaman deck. Let's see if what can be added. Maybe not speaking right now. No, that's not the case. There we go. Okay. And this one. Okay, perfect. So the two cards that came out were the Child and the Tree of Life. And just right off the start, thinking about what we just read with mindful eating and presence, the Child comes in with that story, that narrative of when everything is brand new and wondrous and delightful, when everything is a first time. So take some time to think about that when you go outside for the first time to start your day and you get that first whiff of smell from the air, whether you live in the city or the country. Catch the natural whiffs. See if you can pick up on the sounds of the birds and feel the wind or the sun, and stop with it, be present with it in that wondrous childlike way of as if it were the very first time. And you can create meaning in a story on how that's affecting you in that present moment, or guiding you and directing you. And you can also simply delight in the wonder of it all. The I don't know, the child's mind, beginner's mind. And the Tree of Life, again, with the initial mindful eating affirmation, speaks to me about the connectivity of everything. And be that tree of life. Be that part of the world that has roots that dig deep into the ground and spread wide, and connect with the network of fungi, the mycorrhizae, and interconnect with all the other trees in a way of not who has better sunlight or gets more beneficial birds and insects versus the others, but they connect in a way of how can we best benefit the forest as a whole, benefit everything as a whole. They're not worried about what's going to happen to them. In fact, we all know, many of us know that it's been recorded that a tree will, if it's been attacked by an harmful parasite or insect, it will immediately send out signals through the network in the soil, and I believe with an odorous language or message as well, that sends a message to all the trees in the neighborhood and beyond that this particular parasite or harmful insect is attacking it. And at this point, that tree that sends that message out to everybody knows that there's really not much that can be done. And fighting back may or may not help. And so what it does then is it also can send out locally a poison that will essentially kill off the infectious attackers, and or give the other trees enough time to create their own olfactory chemical that prevents those insects from attacking it. So this one tree will give its life. It will give itself for the all. And I like to think it does so gladly, because the tree knows it's not the end. It just knows. And I'm gonna go back to the child really quickly and see what stands out. There's these wonderful feathers at the bottom of her braids that are speaking to me of the communication that we receive from the wind. As birds fly in the wind, they are not only utilizing the wind as and their wings as a force to fly, they're also identifying and connecting with the language that the wind carries. This is something that also occurs in and amongst the trees. There's an exchange of information. Just like water holds memory, wind contains moisture as well, the air does as well, and that carries memories as well. It carries it through the branches and the leaves of the trees. It carries it through the tiny little wisps of feathers on each feather, and it carries those messages to you and I. So when you step out into the world, the next time you do, go ahead and ask to the wind, what messages, what stories do you have for me today? What may I learn, know, understand, even activate within myself from your messages? Okay. Whoop. So now let's see what the shaman's dream wants to talk about. Let's do one more. Oh, my kitty's got something to say about this message. She likes to join in on the conversation. And I'm surprised she hasn't done so sooner. All right. So, the next card that came out is the Garden of Venus, Rest and Renewal. The colors on this card are always so vibrant and welcoming, and I feel that sense of this archway. It's like come in, come within, step underneath our archway with a little heart hanging over your head, and let that be a reminder to you that this is a place of no need to think about the world's worries, but simply be in the heart. And I'm noticing for the first time that the heart hanging overhead in the threshold is hanging from, I don't think you can see it in the camera, a shell, which is reminding me of the infinite nature of, now I'm forgetting the name of it. I want to say the golden rule, but it's the golden ratio. There we go. But maybe the golden rule as well. That could be why. The golden rule, do unto others as you would have done unto you. And the golden ratio is essentially, in mathematical terms, it's the number that is plus the number that was before it equals the number that will be. So let's think about that. The what is right now plus what was right before right now is what will be creating the next. So if you're looking at the number 5, for instance, and you're calling that right now, the number before 5 in the golden ratio is 3. So 3 plus 5 equals 8. And you can use that numerologically in terms of things like the archetypes and the meanings that are associated with those numbers. You can also simply use it in terms of a way of creating awareness to the presence and holding in that present moment, because that present moment is integral in playing a part of what will become. So not to worry or think about or invest necessarily much in what will become, rather invest in what is, knowing that what just recently was plus what is going to come together in a swirly hodgepodge kind of coloring twirl to make what will be. And again, not focusing on what was, because it no longer is what is. Also knowing and trusting that that will come into play exactly in divine design to create what will be, so that when you get to what will be, you can be in that and know that it'll be even better and a greater reflection of what was and what was before that, so that it can create something even better and greater from what will be. So again, another beautiful illustration from the golden ratio and the golden rule, doing unto others as you would have done unto you, because that's what will be carried forward. What is what you do unto others, or maybe even what would be done unto you. Now I'm getting myself all mixed up in the whole philosophy of it, but I'm liking it, and I think you know where I'm going with this. So go into that sacred space. Walk through that portal in your imagination, in your meditation, in your art, your creativity, your writing, in your movements, from your house to your car, the bus, to your job, or wherever it is that your destination is, the store, to your garden outside. Find ways throughout your days that represent a threshold moment walking through, and let yourself drop the mind behind and let the heart be the guide, knowing that the rules of golden threads, perennial philosophies, and spiritual knowings like the golden ratio and the golden rule are always applicable in everything that we do. And then, right, see, the next card is benefactor. Grace and generosity. I mean, really, doesn't that just say it all? And these little guys on their toadstool, I feel like they're just having a party. I mean, honestly, they're on the toadstool using it as a little flying ship through the space land of Mouse Fae world. They're not eating it. They're simply high on life and the love of each other and themselves. Both royals in their own right. And this other guy without the crown looks like, I feel like he's holding like a little magician's wand, a wizard's wand. Not really worrying about what he's creating, but he knows he's up to it, and he knows something's happening there. So then we have the final two cards that came out. And I'm going to draw actually one more card for these last two. There we go. Okay. It took a bit of a more serious tone after the giddy nature of the other two. So here we have Hollow Bone and Woodwives. Woodwives speaks about, so it says here, the adaptability. And what I'm being drawn to is the extension at her right hand is connecting with this tiny bundle of leaves, fall leaves that are illuminated. And she's essentially creating a magical connection, communicating with them, an old and ancient wisdom that is one of those ones that's so simple. You know, it speaks so in the word below, adaptability. It's so simple, but with everything that's incredibly simple can be also incredibly dimensional and complex. And I feel like she's reminding the little bundle of leaves, this woodwives tree spirit being, that it's okay to go complex and know the complexity of it all. And it's okay to be simple and simply be in the moment and be in that presence. And I'm saying that as I'm seeing her heart really lit up there, with almost like another being inside her heart space. Again, I'm not sure how well the details come through on the camera. Hollow bone teachability. And this is speaking today about the path of the witness, which we all are. We all have that character inside of us, within us. It, to me, is akin to the beginner's mind, the no-thought child's mind. And it's a state of openness. Hollow bone, speaking of the use of who we are beyond what our character roles are in life. You know, in life, a bone is for stability and structure, and bone marrow has all these functions to the body beyond simply holding the body upright and together and making mobility possible. These are the primary roles of a bone, but when the body dies and the bones still exist, it still has a pertinence in a practical sense and in metaphoric sense. And so this card is asking you to allow yourself right now in your presence and in your life to open to the multifaceted, dimensional, and infinite timeline capacities of who you are right now. Allow yourself to be the hollow bone, the vessel of what I would consider divine wisdom channeling through yourself. And see, this illustration here not only depicts that idea of someone who's, you can see this like a horn, who's speaking wisdom from not themselves in their corporeal form, but from a divine essence and energy. You can see it kind of floating around behind the bone creature. And also, again with the feathers, right? It is adorned with feathers to catch the information, the memories, the knowledge of what I would call the horizontal world, the other people, the other plants, the other animals, all the feelings and thoughts and creative epiphanies, all the sorrows, all the surprises, everything that comes along with being anything alive on this planet and beyond, being alive. And so this hollow bone illustration is speaking about having both the vertical information moving through it and still staying in touch with the horizontal world. And so what I'm getting from all of these cards then today, before I go into the final card for you today, Taurus, is that you are opening up to greater, and I heard dimensions, and I also feel details. That's what it is. It seems to me that your cognitive capacity has been developing and opening up. And a big part of why that's happening is that essence and characteristic of being the hollow bone and allowing to leave the thoughts at the door and moving through the threshold of a serene space wherever you are. And I'm seeing that that's coming through more and more. And you're taking those moments of delight to receive and to return. And so you're playing your different roles in life, knowing that you have these character roles, knowing that we all wear masks, but also maintaining a foothold in the truth of who you are as the witness. And of course, that is coming about from continued self-care and reverence with the deep quiet, meditation and stillness. And the more you do that, it looks like you have been doing that a significant amount, the more it's becoming second nature in your day-to-day moments. What is that there? I'm not sure. Yeah, I really am seeing that you're tapping into some fantastic realms of realities, not just the ones that overlay in our own world and common reality, but this looks like there's a person there and a finger touching on, and then there's kind of this other like portal right here to another landscape, another world very far from this one, touching on being able to look into those different worlds, gain wisdom and insight from them. So wow, you're doing some very deep and spectacular work. And what I'm hearing again at the end here is to come back to always take time in amongst the seriousness of the stillness and meditation and attention and awareness. Make sure to come back to these guys that are within you, especially our benefactor little buddies here, flying around on the cosmos through the stars in their little spaceship of a wonderland mushroom, just delighted in the whole thing. This is your life, and so that sounds like to me the wisdom that's coming through is to continue to relish in the delight of it and creating that balance of the more open stillness witness state. So that is your reading for today. Thank you so much for being here with me. If you would like to support this channel, please hit the like button and go ahead and subscribe. If you'd like to leave a comment, I always love to hear from you. Thank you for being here today. Have a wonderful, blessed day. Take care now. Bye.